Polestar have just reduced the price of the Polestar 3, which is actually a very good electric car. A lot of people have been criticizing it, but I think it's very good. I'm going to explain to you why. But why, even though the price has come down by $10,500, you should not buy one. In other words, if you live in the United States, don't buy a Polestar 3 until, well, just wait. Wait for around 10 months, and then that's when you should consider purchasing one. There's a very good reason for this. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Polestar 3. It's actually a fairly expensive car, but you do get some features that you might not be aware of. There's some pretty nice luxury features on the Polestar 3. Here in Australia, it has received a lot of criticism. I've seen the reviews here in Australia. People have responded. They're saying there's too many option packs. There's like option pack and this pack and that pack. You add this pack and you add that pack. Honestly, I saw all the packs and I was confused. But in America and in Europe, I believe you don't have all these option packs. It's a little bit less confusing, which is why, probably one of the reasons why Sweden, there's been some great reviews for the Polestar 3. Now, whoever's dealing with this in Australia, Polestar guys, in Australia, you've got to remove some of those option packs. It's too confusing, too many options. It's making it like a Bentley. It's not a Bentley. It's a great car. It's not, it's not in that, range. Put it that way. Anyway, Polestar lower the price by $10,500, and what that does is that does remove one of the packs, which was standard before. But I'm going to explain why that doesn't really make any difference. Now, what do you get with this? Well, you get adaptive air suspension. That's one of the features. You get a dual clutch rear motor with torque vectoring. That, to be honest, means nothing. Absolutely, you don't need a dual clutch rear motor with torque vectoring. Some of the best EVs in the world don't have a dual clutch rear motor with, EVs have torque vectoring. That's like a word you use for internal combustion engine vehicles. It's irrelevant to EVs. Anyway, you do get, though, IR coated acoustic glass. So it's very quiet inside the Polestar 3. You get flush glazing, whatever that means. You get soft closed doors, very luxurious. There's some other things that you don't find in a cheap EV. So yeah, it's really nice. Now, the Polestar 3 does have a very big battery. So you're paying for a big battery pack. You're also paying for the chicken tax. Now, if you buy one of these EVs in America, if you buy one in Australia, you don't pay the chicken tax. If you buy one in America, you're paying 27% tax. So that's pretty much being passed on to you because they're still pretty pricey, right? In the United States, you're looking at a minimum starting price now of $73,400 US plus $1,400 destination charge fee, and yeah, that's a lot of money for a car brand you've never heard of before. A lot of people have never heard of before. It is. The key reason for the $73,400 price is not just the fact that it's luxurious, but it's manufactured in China. Not that that's a problem necessarily, depending on what you think. But then they've got to send it. They've got to ship it all the way to the US. That costs a lot of money. Then it's got to pay 27% import tax because it's made in China. Now, if you wait, you can get one of these at a much lower price because these will qualify for at least some level of the US EV incentives once they're manufactured in America, and they will be apparently by around about the end of this year. So much better off doing that. Plus, I personally don't recommend you guys in America buying Chinese electric cars. And the reason I mention that is because a lot of people in Australia probably hate me for saying this, but to be honest, guys, we're pretty screwed. We are. We're kind of screwed, right? I mean, China is taking over. It's taken over the manufacturing industry worldwide for almost everything. Processing, building everything. To be honest, if you buy something and you're like, oh, I'm not buying, I bought this BMW, it's not made in China. Have a think about what the CEO of Mercedes is saying, right? He's saying, we don't want to penalize China, blah, 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 because where Mercedes gets their parts, gets all this. Most of the stuff in a Mercedes EV, you think you're buying a luxury EV, most of the stuff in that EV is actually made in China. Guys, China owns everything except for the automotive industry, and it's going to own the automotive industry. The only place we have left, in my opinion, is America. I think the European automotive industry will be just decimated, aside from Mercedes, BMW, and Audi, which will still maintain their kind of image for a while, at least. The automotive industry is kind of screwed. So I think if you're in the US, you've got access to a lot of EVs made in America I say support those. When these are made in America, that's when I'd be going for it, and then the price will be cheaper as well. So the pricing, first of all, they've reduced the price by $10,500. It's still quite expensive in my opinion for a base model, but they've removed the pack. So they've removed a pack that now costs $5,500, and that pack gives you a 1,610 watt Bowers & Wilkins premium audio system, which has 25 speakers and a fresh air subwoofer delivering an outstanding audio experience. Now, for the life of me, I cannot work out why on earth you need 25 speakers. 25 speakers in the space of this room that I'm sitting in here right now. Why on earth would that be a positive? I can't understand. I think that's bizarre, beyond bizarre. I mean, guys, I've seen some of the most amazing audio systems. I've got a few friends who are right into audio systems, and they've spent 10 grand plus on their audio systems, more than that, even 20. They don't have 25 speakers. You don't need it. So the standard speakers are probably fine. But anyway, this pack removes those 25 speakers, which I think is fine. And it also removes the bio-attributed Microtech or animal welfare wool seats. And it also removes 21-inch plus wheels and heated rear seats. You can get heated rear seats, guys, in electric cars that cost like 40 grand. So I don't think they should remove those. Those should be standard. That's ridiculous. 21-inch wheels, who cares? It's neither here nor there. Now, in terms of this bio-attributed Microtech, whatever the hell that means, I don't know what that means, but animal welfare wool seats. Now, guys, have you seen the festivals they have in China? where they, there's some videos on YouTube. I don't know if they're still there or not, but there's one annual festival they have where they remove the skin of dogs. There's a native Chinese dog. They remove the skin, and then while the dog is alive, and then they put them in a cage, and the dogs are screaming because they're in pain, and they just basically throw the dogs on top of each other and just laying on top of each other, just skinless, laying there whining in pain and moaning in pain. The reason they do this is because they think it keeps them fresher. So when you get one, you're going to get a nice fresh dog to eat. Do you really think that animal welfare wool seats are coming out of China? I don't think so. Anyway, Polestar 3s with the performance pack cost $6,000 more. Now, this performance pack seems like a good option. $79,400 for the Polestar 3 with long-range DM performance, right? That seems to me like a good deal. 22-inch performance forged wheels. I wouldn't get an EV with wheels that big because it's going to lower your range, but they do look amazing. So if you're into this kind of luxury car, that would look cool, right? You also get Polestar engineered chassis tuning. You get more power, about 40 more horsepower, 671 pound-feet of torque. Performance is pretty good, 4.6 seconds, 0 to 60 miles an hour. It's not exactly scintillatingly fast, but it's pretty fast, 4.6 seconds. You get Swedish gold accents, including the seat belts have Swedish gold accents. To me, that's just, I don't like that at all. That to me is something I can't handle. Like, that's like, imagine if I was wearing a shirt and it was like, had gold accents. It's so ridiculous. I'm not a fan, but the Polestar 3, it is a nice car, so I shouldn't say that. It's a nice car. Now, the big thing here you're paying for, guys, for this price, you're really paying for a big battery. 111 kilowatt hour battery, dual motor, so you're getting two motors. So that's what you're paying for here. The base version gives you 315 miles because it is a relatively heavy vehicle. So you're probably wondering why the range is so low for a vehicle with such a big battery. That's the reason. It's a heavy car. Now, the performance version gives you 279 miles. So let's just say 280 miles of range. And that means that this vehicle is getting more range now. So Polestar have had this car retested. They didn't like the EPA range given before. They've got it retested. The range figures have now increased. They've done maybe a software upgrade. Maybe they've released more of that, that spare battery capacity that they have to try and protect the battery. Whatever they've done, it's improved the range. So 315 miles for the base version, performance version, 280 miles. Prices are down. It's still a bit pricey, I think, for a new brand. I think they probably need to be more aggressive in their pricing, but it is definitely a very luxurious electric car. It's very nice. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.